Hello and welcome to a Chip Off the Old Block Toys. I'm Jeff, and today we are going to continue building the Bricklink Designer set, and specifically that set number 910029, the Mountain Fortress. We have accomplished, I think it's bags 1 through 5, but let me double check. Oh, 1 through 6. No, keep me honest there. And this is what it looks like so far. And easily my favorite part is this little stream that goes through it, and there's plenty of other things. I have showed it in the past, and I will basically hold off on showing you the rest of it until we do some work today. So let's go ahead and jump into bag number 7, and let's switch cameras so that you can see directly what I'm doing here. There we go. Hey, Cajun Yeti, and hello, Miss Chip. How you guys doing today? Oh, there we go. So I'm slightly delayed on this because for whatever reason, this PDF is so big that the instructions come with that when you hit the button for it to do its thing, it doesn't want to do it right away. So there's always a delay. So I apologize for that, but I don't know how to fix that. Okay, I got to make sure that I have the right, yes I do, okay, the right bag in front of me. Always important when building. Okay, here. And I think I asked this, but how is everyone's morning going? I don't have the comments directly in front of me because I only have one screen, so I will go ahead and flip back and forth every now and again, just to let you guys know how it's going. And for some reason, oh, there it is. Okay, I was gonna say I was missing a piece, but no, there it is. All right, let's go back over to comments. My computer's not cooperating. There we go. Mrs. Cajun, Miss Cajun, sorry. Mrs. Chip and Cajun Yeti are saying hi to each other. I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that. Mrs. Chip says, pretty good, beautiful day. How was your morning? Cajun says, I'm doing great. Spent all day yesterday in New Orleans between the Lego store. Oh, cool, man. So how do you like bricks and minifigures, by the way? I've been to 2 locations here in Utah. I'll hold off on what I think of it until I hear you comment back. So I woke up a little bit early this morning. I've been out in the shop organizing some of the pieces that I've got. I've got several sorting projects going on in there, and I sorely need to get to them. I got to get through it. I kind of feel bad about that because I didn't intentionally start a bunch of things, but being that my wife's in the military, we've moved so many times, and what ends up happening is you just run out of time to finish something. And so you put it in a container, in a bag, and you say, oh yeah, I'll get to it later. Well, you never get to it later until now when you've got about 40 of those. No, I'm just kidding. We have not moved 40 times, but certainly we have moved many times. And I spent a little bit of time. You guys, I don't know if you guys know who Rancor Steve is. He's got both a YouTube channel and a Rumble channel. And he's a really cool guy. And Steve and I, we've done a couple of things together here on YouTube and Rumble. And last night, by chance, I happened to catch the beginning of his live stream. Didn't know he was streaming. And so I jumped on there and spent about 2 hours with him, joking around and being goofy as usual. Oh, there we go. Let me switch over to the comments because I want to see. Let's see. Okay, you like the bulk there. It's not bad as long as you don't buy their sealed retired. Yes, I agree with you. Their sealed retired sets are way overpriced. However, I do like their bulk as well. Hey, Greg, how you doing? So their bulk. The reason I like it, I don't know what your store does, and I don't know if they do them all the same. But my bricks and minifigures, they will actually separate out into a separate bin all the Technic pieces. And I love that because I like buying Technic brick and I don't have to sort that far to get to it. I mean, it's like all right there in one bin. So I like that aspect of it. And plus, the owner of the place, he knows me pretty well, and because I go in there a lot, and he will actually, if he has pieces that have been washed and dried, but he didn't have a chance to pick out like the minifigures out of it yet, he trusts me enough that he will sometimes pull a bin or two of those out of the back, and he'll let me go through it. And he tells me, he said, no, you can't take any premium pieces. And I know what the premium pieces are because they sell them separately. And but he'll still let me rummage through it, and before it gets out to the floor. And I love that because there's always good stuff. In fact, there was pieces to one of the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcons in there. It was missing the cockpit, dang it, because that's like a $35 piece or something like that on Bricklink. And I wouldn't be able to get that anyway because it's a premium piece. But it was missing enough of it that it wasn't worth his time to salvage it. But I recognized what it was, and I took a few of the pieces I really wanted, like the blue hose that goes in the back, the double hose to make it look like the engines are running. He let me get those without having to pay the premium price. So anyway, he's a good man. I still head over to Bunksters as well. Bunksters is another type of bricks and minifigures, just without the minifigures, bricks and minifigures name. Let's head back to the comments, and I'm slowly trying to get into the groove of things here. Okay, I've seen the coffee corner, yeah, and Mark. Oh, yeah, those are the first two modulars, and yeah, they had 40% off, and yes, they also have separate. Yeah, they do. And, is a printed piece a premium? Some of them. And yeah, okay, I saw Cajuns. Depends on what the printed piece is. Yes, that's very much true. Because sometimes, or if it's more common, I would say like the slopes with the computers on them, those are not premium. They'll throw those in the bulk bin. A lot in what I have seen, and I don't know if every store is the same again, but what I've seen is that if it's like a Star Wars printed piece, those are almost always premium. But it's cool. I like how they do. My store also does like windows. So if you've got like wait a minute, I gotta pay attention here. What am I doing? Oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. So in my store, he'll take the 1x4x6 windows, and he'll go ahead and he'll set those aside. He's got a whole thing of them, and they're anywhere from like 50 cents to $1. And anyway, and he also has a bunch of printed ones too. So it's kind of cool. And my store also does a rewards program. So every time you like spend $100, you get like a $5 thing off the next time you come in. So I usually buy their $90 bag. It's big. It's bigger than a gallon. And I do that bulk. And my thing did not change pages. Dang it. And so I usually go for that. And every time I do, it's not working. There it goes. Every time I do, I come back with another $5 off. So it's kind of cool. And what's also kind of cool for me is that bricks and minifigures and Bunkster's bricks are directly like next to each other. Like, well, I don't mean directly next to each other, but like one's on one street, and if you just keep going up just about 1,000 feet and you make a right, 1,000 feet that way is Bunkster. So I mean, they're like within a mile of each other. They're pretty close. And Enzo's really happy right now. I usually, when I go to the grocery store, I'll buy a thing of like 8-piece cooked chicken. And, well, Mr. Enzo always gets a few pieces. And this morning was no exception. He got a piece, and now he's just happy, you know. And I know I'm not missing a piece because I always say I'm missing a piece. You know what? I'm going to throw this on there, and hopefully I just find it later. And I will be switching over to the comments here after this next page here. Sorry, I have to keep doing that. I tried doing a second monitor to my computer. I can't because the only video port I have on this goes to the camera that I'm using right now. And so it's either have the extra camera or have the extra monitor. And so I've chosen the camera in this case. But I did buy a docking station once. It was a disaster. Best Buy told me it would work for my computer, my laptop. It did not, because I tried a docking station. So I just got to find someone who knows what they're talking about and get a docking station. Yeah, a premium piece is anything that's unusual. Like I was saying, that Ultimate Collector Series, Millennium Falcon, I could tell what it was. And the printed cock piece, cone piece, that would be a premium. Another premium would be there's the convex cones where it's a corner cone piece and it's 2x2 on the bottom, 1x1 on top. If you look on Bricklink, those sell for $2 to $3, sometimes even more than that. So he'll pull those out and sell them separately as well. A lot of the windows that have print on them are premium. And obviously minifigures are premium because they sell those separately. Okay, so now we need to set this aside because the stuff that we're doing is we're doing some what do you call that, base work here. I don't know if I can slide this all the way over or not. Let me try this. I'm fortunate enough that I've done enough bulk buys in my day on eBay and other places that, I mean, I literally have a lot of printed pieces. In fact, if you go out to my shop, you'll see I have a whole entire drawer of black printed pieces, another drawer for blue, yellow, red. So whenever I need premium pieces, or what they consider premium, a lot of times I don't have to buy it in most cases. This air conditioner, it's not feeling that cold. I wonder if it's breaking on me. I hope not. I don't have $400. And by the way, today's the first day that the temperatures are supposed to be somewhat cooler. For those of you who don't know, well, probably I think everybody knows. I mean, shoot, I think everywhere in the U.S. has been facing this, and I found that missing piece, by the way. Everyone in the U.S. has had the warmer temperatures this last week, and we're no exception. We were over 100. I think it was 3 days, maybe 4 days, and today's only supposed to be like in the low 90s. So I will definitely not complain about having 90-degree weather. That's just something you relish right there. I mean, come on. All right. So if you guys haven't been able to check out Rancor Steve's channel, I will do my best to remember to put a link in the description after this live stream, because he's got a good channel. He's a good guy. And I like supporting other YouTubers, especially when they're cool like that. Okay. And Steve's definitely a cool guy. I mean, oh, okay. So we need to set this aside again. Looks like, based off what I'm seeing, I think we're going to build the front of this. So let me set this aside so we can build it. And I will get back to your comments here in just a minute. I haven't forgot you guys. And gals. Let's see here. What we got? Okay, no new comments. All right, cool. I will say I've been kind of experiencing something I can't explain, and I actually do find it a little bit odd. Okay, so I like movies, especially older ones that I grew up with. A lot of them I know the lines to them, including Blazing Saddles, which many these days would find offensive, and to that I stick up my middle finger because, well, if you've seen the movie, that would be appropriate in the movie. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I like a lot of older movies, and I know the lines to it. And sometimes my mind will cycle through old movies, and for a couple days, a lot of my responses will be based off of a movie that I've been thinking about. And here lately, the movie has been the Shrek movies. Another one of my favorites is Fletch with Chevy Chase. Mrs. Chip could tell you she's probably tired of hearing that, but there are some lines from that movie that crack me up, like when he goes sees in Fletch Lives, he goes sees Reverend Jimmy Farnsworth, who happens to be the same guy who's the drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket. It's really weird to see him play a reverend or a preacher after seeing him in Full Metal Jacket, but he does play a preacher. And I got to tell you, he's a very talented actor, because even though at first it's hard to see him playing the complete opposite role, he does pull it off very well. Anyway, there's a line where Jimmy Lee Farnsworth is trying to get Chevy Chase to join his church, and Chevy Chase throws out the line, well, I prefer a God who doesn't need heavy financing. And that's just one of the best lines ever. Airplane is another movie that goes through that cycle in my mind I was telling you about. That's my dad's favorite movie, and for Father's Day, our tradition is to have dinner for him at his house, and then we watch a movie of his picking, his liking. And this year, he said he wanted to see Airplane, so we watched it. And I mean, that movie, I can just about tell you any line, any scene. I've seen it so many dang times, man. But you know what? If I had time, I'd sit down and watch it again today. Do you guys have any movies like that? Do you guys have any movies that like Airplane, where you've seen it so many times and you just don't care? You would watch it again if you had an hour or two to burn. If you do, let me know in the comments, because I'm interested. Um, I'll be honest. Airplane is one of those movies that I saw as a young kid. It came out in 1980. And well, I was a few years old by then. Can't tell you how many, but a few. I'm almost 50. Anyway, yeah, that movie actually, when I look back at it, I realized that seeing it at such a young age, how much it helped formulate my humor that I have now, and how it's very similar, my humor. And I love doing that when anybody asks me a question like, a hospital, what is it? Oh, it's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now. I love giving answers like that. And I know that's a smart A thing to do, but that's what I like doing. And as soon as I'm done with this wall, I'm going to switch back over and read any comments that came through. Oh, update. I think I mentioned this on Steve's live stream, and that's part of the problem with doing different live streams on different channels. I don't remember what I've said to who, and so I apologize if I've already mentioned this on this channel, but even if I have, it's worth mentioning again. Oh, there went this. So I bought every single one, there's 5, of the Bricklink Designer Series 1 sets. This is one of them right here. But I bought all 5, and I got notification that they shipped the other 4, and they're supposed to be here on Tuesday. So now I'm kind of like, well, I really want to get this done because I want to do the live streams and build the other ones with you. So we'll see how that goes, but just wanted to let you know they're on their way. And well, so is the bill for buying them. So we'll see about that. We've been in a heat wave in the afternoon around 4 p.m. It gets over 100 degrees every day, plus the humidity is bad. Could 80 degrees with humidity? Oh, yes. The heat index, yeah, that's like the true measure, yeah. I love Blazing Saddles, and also was big space. Oh, Spaceballs, yes. Any of the National Lampoons, yes. Animal House is definitely a favorite of mine as well. Any of the police academies, oh yeah. I've seen all of them as well. In fact, I own the first 4 on DVD, and let's just say they get a good workout because I look at it. And Christmas Vacation, yeah, definitely Christmas Vacation. I love that. Look, Russ, no lines. Anyway, and then watch it every year with Gremlins. Gremlins, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a few years since I've seen that one, but that's another good one. I do like it. And Sarcasm, our second language down here. Yeah, I can relate. We must be cousins somewhere. In fact, I think I'm just going to start introducing you as my long-lost cousin. I'm just kidding. Okay. So they put some pieces in front of this wall to keep it from popping out right here. So I think that was pretty cool. I'm sure we're going to do some more decorating here in the front because I see some more white pieces. So let me turn this around where I can see it, and then I will be sure to turn this back around when it's done to show you all the detail I'm doing here. And yes, they're putting a bunch of pieces right in front of that piece that's on a little ball joint to keep it from, I guess, flapping off or whatever, you know. That sounded wrong. To keep it from flying off, let's put it that way. I don't always think about what I say before I say it, as you can tell. And speaking of castles, Mrs. Chip was stationed in Germany from 2008, 2011. And when she was stationed there, and if you've been to Europe, you know what I'm talking about. In Germany, if there's a town of any significant size or of age, there's a castle associated with that whole entire thing, that town. And it's really neat because Spencer and I, he was much younger. He was I don't know, about 7 or 8. We did a camping trip with a church group where they rented out a castle pretty much on the border of Luxembourg and Germany. And Mandersheim, that's what it was called. I was trying to think of it there in the background, but okay. Yeah, it was called the Mandersheim Castle. And anyway, the Mandersheim Castle was really neat because it was in a prime location, like a natural river that had rapids, so it was really hard to cross it. Went around most of it. And the unique feature to it, though, in my opinion, was the fact that if you went up the tallest tower and you looked to the north, not very far in the distance was yet another castle. And it wasn't near as big or as grand, but as you read the plaques, it talked about how these two castles being close together, they never got along, and it seemed like there were skirmishes very often. And to me, it's like, I wonder why they just didn't at one point come together and maybe realize they could use each other and be better off as friends than enemies. But the plaques say they warred. They had constant problems between the two of them, like stealing each other's cattle and other things. And I am not seeing this piece that belongs here. I do have a bin of spare parts. I don't know if it's going to be in here. So let me look. Okay, I don't see it here, but the piece is common enough. And I've got all the pieces from the Avengers Tower over here. So let me just scoot off screen here just for a second, and I'll go grab it. Okay, I've got it here. And in fact, one of these times I'll have to, you kind of have to prepare for it. I should prepare it so that I can show you the pictures of that trip. I think it's worth showing. Let me go back to the comments here. We can do that down here. Come people as long as lost cousins. That's awesome. I've seen your building yesterday at Bricks and Minifigure. They wanted $675. Oh my gosh. $675. I think I paid $229. Hey Crimson, how you doing? And are you asking what set? It's one of the Bricklink Designer ones, the ones that the fans submit, and then people vote on it, gets crowdfunded, and then Lego makes anywhere from 10,000 to 30,000 of these sets, and it's a one-time production run. Once they're done, they're done. And I always struggle with buying these because I want them, and I want them bad because it seems like, oh shoot, sorry, I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. I always want them because they're neat, they're more detailed, and all that, and so I really like them. But the problem is the money. They're more expensive too than a regular Lego set, and so that makes it more difficult to buy. And in addition to that, if you don't buy it right away, and then you try to buy on open market later, you're going to pay at least twice as much. And so it's always a toss-up. And then the other problem is they don't charge your credit card right away. You buy it, you commit to buy it, and then it takes them several months to produce it. And during that time, I always forget. And then all of a sudden, I know they're going to ship it because I check my credit card statement one day, and then the balance will be significantly higher. And then I'm like, crap, how did that? And it's like, oh, that's right. And then I'll go check Lego's website, and they often with these, this isn't the first time I've bought this kind of crowdfunding from Lego. They always forget to send the email, well, not always, but oftentimes forget to send the email that says we're shipping it. And so the only way I know is I just look at my credit card, and it's like, oh, okay, that's what happened. So, oh man, this is supposed to go here, but maybe I don't have it pushed in enough. Oh, there it goes. So let me show you what we just did. We put another one of these rock outcroppings here, and there is a really cool one right here. I'm trying not to do that. Okay. There's one right here that opens up and lets the prisoner out. Let me flip it right back around and keep going with this. Yeah, so there's let me since I brought it up, let me just take a second. I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna bring up my Lego thing. And I'm hoping that there's no identifying information, I'll let you see it. I don't care if you see my name. I've told you guys my name a billion times, so you see my name, you see my name. Let's see if I can pull up this order, and if I can, I'll let you see what I've ordered and talk about it a little bit, because these are all the Bricklink Designer sets. Here it is. And I will switch over now. Okay, let's go over here. Okay. So I purchased 2 of the old train sheds, and I know this is a really small picture, but whenever I click on it, it'll tell you it can't find the page, so I can't make it any bigger. I apologize. I bought the Parisian Street, which is like a modular. I bought one of the general store, and I bought 2 of the snacks. I bought them, 2 of them, because my city is going to be so large. I wanted to have 2 of them in my city. I do have a Bricklink store, but I do not resell these sort of things. Say what you want. And you can have a different opinion than mine. I don't care. My opinion is not the right opinion. It's just my opinion. My opinion is I don't feel like I should buy these to resell them. They're a limited production run. And so I think it's wrong, in my personal opinion, to buy it and resell it. Now, the stuff you find at Target and Walmart, game on. But here, no. And let me get back to StreamYard and I will stop the screen. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the train station, the newer one they did in the next run, I got my days mixed up when they were releasing it, and I didn't get it either. So the run that just happened, the only one that I got was the logging train thing with the long trestle bridge. That was the only one I could get. And that's okay too, because honestly, my buying habits with Legos changing. It's primarily I'm buying what I need for my city out there, and I'm focusing more upon my city than anything right now. The Avengers Tower thing, I am going to need a few more pieces to finish it out, but not many, because I bought 10 of those sets, and those are just kind of there. Oh, shoot, I did that wrong. So the Avengers Tower I'll be able to do. I just need to set aside time to do it. It has been so freaking hot. Yeah. Anyway, I'll get to it. And the heat only lasts a few more weeks, really, and then it'll be cold again. And then instead of hearing me complain about how hot it is, you're going to hear me complain about how cold it is. Okay, so speaking of cold, they wanted these branches right here that are frosted over. Okay, let's do some work on the side here. This is kind of the part that I don't like on the instructions. These instructions are not clear because they show you stuff that is slightly out of view, and they expect you to figure out how the pieces are oriented that way. And I don't like that. They should have turned it. Okay. No, I am not missing a piece. Okay, cool. I thought I was for a second. Okay. So I'm not going to do a live stream tomorrow. I'll probably do one Tuesday or Wednesday. Tomorrow will be a shop update video. I have done some updates to the shop, and then I'm probably going to work on the following week's shop video after I'm done with this today. Unfortunately, I have to shift gears, and I'm not going to be working on what I want to work on. I'm instead going to be working on what I need to work on. And that'll become apparent when you watch the video. Why? Okay, we need to build a character. Oh, caught it. Okay. So we got this lady with her bread. I'm going to switch over to comments here. That build looks good. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Chip. Let me go ahead and just get started on this. And I hate to tell you guys, but I really think this air conditioner in here broke this window on, because I'm not feeling anything cool come out of it. All I'm feeling is the fan blowing on me, which isn't that good. Let me make sure something didn't happen here. So sometimes the hose that goes out the window falls out, and so it's pumping hot air just through the machine and back into the room, but that's not what's going on. It's just not producing the cold air. So that bites, but you know what? And for those who didn't know, I am seeking a electrician's apprenticeship. I'm wanting to switch careers. So far, the only ones I could find are very far from my house, like over an hour a day commute each way, which won't work for me. I did get a good lead from a friend of mine, Brent. So I'm hoping that this lead pans out. I'm actually going to call the guy tomorrow and see about that. I've done a lot of electrician projects in my day, and I have got permits for them, and I have never failed a inspection on the first try. That doesn't mean I'm an expert at it. That just means I know enough to be dangerous. So I'd like to make a career out of it, because I enjoy the work and the pay. I enjoy the work because one thing about accounting, let's say I've been in accounting for a few years, and I have a degree in it, but I hate it. And that's because accounting transactions never die. They just don't. You get audited later, all kinds of stuff. And I find accounting very, very frustrating. So, but electrician work to me is different. You start off the day and you got nothing. And by the end of the day, you could have it completely wired and working, depending on how small the project is. But even if it's not done, you can still turn around and look at your project and see what progress you made that day. And nothing comes behind you, like an audit, to undo part of it and have to re-explain what you did. It's just there, and it's there for everyone to see your progress. So I really like the electrician's work because of that. I find it very satisfying. So, and plus the fact that in the county I live in, there's only 2 licensed electricians at the current moment, and they both work for the mine here. And so they don't like doing big projects. They'll do smaller projects for people, but they already have a full-time job, so they're not really into, and I messed this up, shoot. They're not really into it, so doing bigger projects. So if I got my license, I'm hoping that would mean that I'd have a good shot at getting some of these bigger jobs and just doing them myself. Okay, something is wrong. Oh, there it is. All right, no, it's not wrong. Well, it does look like I'm missing a piece, and it's a large piece, so I doubt it's hiding under anything. And no, it's not. It's right here. See that? I always think I'm missing pieces, and I'm not. And the other thing that appeals to me about electrician's work is that, if I could get to the point where I'm working on my own, then I would be able to decide, you know what, I don't feel like working today. In fact, I don't want to work. I got enough money. I don't want to work for a couple days. So just make my schedule so that I don't have any jobs for a couple days. Simple as that. But they get paid so well that you could probably do that. Not like all the time or anything, but you'd have more freedom over your schedule, that's for sure. Okay. So we have the drawbridge. There we go. And it looks like they put these little things on here because I'll bet you later there's going to be chains to bring this up. Hey, John, how you doing? And that's why my builds take so long. What, missing pieces? Sorry, and just to explain for those who are just joining, I only have one screen, so I'm not ignoring the comments. I can't keep switching back and forth that often because the instructions are on one screen and I only have one screen. So it's kind of a bummer, but I need to figure that out. I need to get the proper docking station for this. I just don't recommend going to Best Buy because they'll sell you the wrong one, and then when you try returning it, they'll give you some goofy excuse and not let you return it. And yes, I am speaking from experience. And yes, I am mad because I spent $100 on a docking station that I couldn't even use, and they wouldn't return it. I even tried to talk to the store manager. I called up their 1-800 number and asked for the store manager to call me back, and they never called me back. So I just got stuck with the docking station. It didn't work. It did work for my son's computer, and I gave it to him, but he didn't really need it. He still doesn't really need it. So I'm kind of just stuck with the docking station that doesn't work with my computer. And I'm really liking this, these little white pieces are using as snow caps on the top of all this. I think it adds a really nice touch. So as far as building today, I have one more set of bags open after this bag, and that's as far as I'm going to get today. Is I'm just going to do what I have open, call it a day, head out to the shop. And I said I was going to hold off to the next video, but I'll just tell you guys. I mean, not everyone watches every video, and I get that. So I have been working on insulating my shop and putting electricity out there, because when I bought it, only one wall had electricity. None of them had insulation. Well, I've been doing that, and I've made pretty good progress. I got 2 walls that are completed. They've got electrical outlets every 8 feet, sometimes closer, but at least every 8 feet. And I also have insulation in them, and then I covered them with plywood to do plywood sheathing. It actually makes the structure stronger, and also it allows me a board to put screws in to hang my Lego cabinets in. So that's the reason I did it. And that part, I had to take a breather from that, because when I work on my city, there's a crack in the concrete floor, and it's big. It's about a 1/2 inch, and yes, it's too large, but it is what it is, and I can't fix that. I have made measures to keep it from happening again. And see, I don't like this Lego. They didn't In the last instructions, yeah, I'm not a fan of how they did that. Okay. Anyway, so when I'm building, I have to put, if I get tired and I sit in my chair, it goes right over that crack and I can't see it because the chair is physically over it. Well, what had happened was every now and again, the ever living lights were scared out of me because there would be a wolf spider that would come out of that crack, and there's more than one wolf spider living in that crack. And there was also a hobo spider too. If you guys know what those are nasty. Well, a little over a week ago, I was out there and I was working on the city, and I felt something kind of tickled my leg, and I looked down, and there was a wolf spider on my leg, on my shin area, and I shoot him off, and immediately I felt a little bit of pain. It wasn't a lot of pain, but it was pain. And over the next couple of days, the pain got worse, and I developed a sore on my leg, and I kept scratching at it, and I made it worse. I know you shouldn't do that, but I did. And now I just got this nasty bite on my leg. And the problem is when you're building, I can't keep looking down to make sure nothing's crawling around me. And so what I did was I went, oh, wait a minute, why did I do that? I went to Home Depot yesterday and I bought some concrete crack sealant stuff. So I sprayed a bunch of ortho poison in that crack. It's probably about 20 feet long. And I sprayed it in there. And a couple spiders ran out. They're dead. And then now when I'm done with the stream, I'm going to vacuum out there. And then when I'm done vacuuming, I'm going to pull out the sealant and I'm just going to seal that crack. It takes, I think, 24 hours to dry. And after that, I can roll the chair over it. And I don't have to worry about anything crawling out of there and trying to harm me and bite me again. So I guess all those times in high school I said bite me, it finally came back to bite me. But like I said, I know not everyone watches every video I do, so I don't think I'm really spoiling anything by telling you that. But that's gonna be my next week's video, is how I prepped the area and cleaned it, and how I did that. So let me go to comments now. What's up, Mrs. Chip? Good morning. Okay. John saying good morning, Agent Yeti. After Best Buy stopped selling physical media, I stopped going. Yeah. Terrible customer service. Don't you have to know building codes? Yes, you do, John. I do know the building codes for electricity. I have a book, and I got really lucky. A friend of mine, some electrician student, left his book out, and there's no name in the book or anything, so my friend picked it up, and my friend let me borrow it, and they update the codes every 3 years, and I have read the latest codes, and they didn't change that much. So yeah, I'm up on the codes of electricity. How do you fix a crack in the floor? Oh, you don't really fix it. You buy this sealant that's kind of, it's almost like a texture of silly putty, but not quite, when it comes out of the tube. And you clean the concrete crack out as thoroughly as possible, because any dirt and anything's just gonna be loose and it's not gonna bond that well. And then you shoot that stuff in there, and then you take like a putty knife and you smooth it out, and then you let it dry about 24 hours, and there you have it. You've got, you've got the floor, the crack will filled in, and that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to fill in the crack so that no creatures can decide that my legs look tasty and take a bite. That's all I'm trying to do at this point. And I mean, at 50 years old, I'm glad something thinks my legs are tasty. Anyway, bad joke. There it is. Well, in my opinion, this has just been a really interesting build altogether. And I'm really hoping that this will make a fine addition to my collection. No, it will. I knew that before I bought it. And I do have the Lion's Gate Castle as well. And I will do a video comparing the two side by side before, I just put this on the shelf. And I'm hoping to bring the castle theme to my city out there by eventually building a Renaissance festival area, and I will have castle stuff going on. Because, my people are festive people. They like to have fun. It's like Festivus for the rest of us. Okay, so I'm doing this kind of backwards. Okay, so I can't do it backwards. I'm going to have to open it up. Okay, there. I'm just not talented enough to do things upside down and that kind of thing. Sometimes I just can't talk and build, guys. I gotta concentrate. Yeah, I know. I smell the smoke too. Okay, let's see. So we're building a giant wedge piece, and I think it's going to go right over here. It's kind of what it looks like. I can't tell though because I'm not far enough into. Oh, come on! Oh, there it goes. This thing's testing my patience. It is going so slow. I click on it, and there's like a 10-second delay before it actually responds. Maybe I just need to restart my laptop. I'll try that after this stream. No. Let's see if there's any more comments. The crack is actually, unfortunately, all the way through. There's a 4-inch slab, and it goes all the way to the gravel, the bottom. My friend, who is a structural engineer, came over, and he took a look at it. And unfortunately, the repair is not simple. It is very expensive. And I will be completely honest with you or anybody else. I just don't have the money to fix it correctly. But the good news is the reason that this was happening was that water was getting underneath the foundation, and it was slowly eroding away the stuff underneath it. And so my friend, who was a structural engineer, told me that if I put gutters on there and channeled the water correctly, that it would stop doing that. And I did. I have gutters on both sides, and the chutes to it, like the pieces that the downspouts, I should say, they extend out 8 feet away from the structure. And then I had, 13 cubic yards of dirt delivered, and Spencer and I spread it all the way around the shop. So it used to be before, if you stood on the outside of the shop, you could literally see underneath the slab. That's how bad the erosion was. Well, we filled it in with dirt and we sloped it away, and then we added the gutter so no new water is just running down the wall and underneath, because that's how it was happening. So the problem shouldn't get any worse. Now, the actual fix to the original problem, well, I can't afford that, and so I will just let it be as long as it doesn't get worse. And I have measured the building, so I do know right away, just by looking at measurements, whether or not it's getting worse or not. And so far, in 2 years, it is not getting any worse. It sure made it fun to do shelving in there, having the walls off a little bit. Okay, so I this is exactly what I thought we were doing. We are building this foundation right here. Unfortunately, this thing is just really slow, and it's kind of cramping my style. I don't know if I really want to do another bag, because it's like I push it and I just wait. I push it and then I wait. And to be honest with you, there's so much in these bags. There's usually like 3 or 4 bags with the same number on it, so there's a lot of pieces per step. What is the correct way to fix the floor? There's a couple of them. You can always pay for the concrete lifting to put it back in place, and then they can fix the underside of it, but that is very expensive. Like, I called the place and they want a minimum of $1,200 just to bring the truck out, and that does not include the actual fix. And John, I'm going to be honest with you, they lied to me. You're saying that this should all be taken into account when I bought the place? Yes. On the property disclosure form, they did not disclose there was a problem. And the home inspector put down that there was so much junk in that shop that he could not see the floor. He actually wrote that down. And you couldn't. I have pictures of what it looked like in there before the old owners got their stuff out, and there was no way I could tell. And as you know, the old owners were complete buttheads and didn't move their stuff out for 3 months after I bought the place. And so I didn't get a look at the floor until I already owned it for 3 months. So, I mean, I kind of got, well, not kind of, I got screwed on that deal. I'll be honest. And I know I got screwed out. I got taken. But on the other hand, John, don't know what to do about it at this point. because I checked with the lawyer, and real estate lawsuits do not go to small claims court, not for something like that. And his retainer fee to even start a lawsuit was $30,000, way more than the repair. And so it's just one of them things where I kind of just got screwed into it. And that wasn't the only thing they lied about, John. They also said that the roof in the shop didn't leak. Well, I'm sorry. On the disclosure form, it asks you if you know of any leaks. And they did not put down the 30-something leaks that were in the shop roof. I ended up finding a company that it cost me $900, but they went up there and I don't have any problems with the roof anymore at all. And they gave me a 5-year warranty, and it's been 2, and there's been no problems. So I just think it's safe to say these people were very dishonest. And I'm sorry, I am waiting on this thing to constantly switch over. Okay, so we got a few pieces left over. Don't really like it, but okay. We got one more bag I'm going to do, and then I'm going to call it quits for the day. I know, I'm a glutton for punishment. All right, so let's get going. And I will get your comments very soon. In fact, right after this step, I will get to it. And I think I'm going to have to, it looks like there's a few pieces that I've had to steal from the next step. So I may not be able to finish this bag. I may have to get up and get some pieces. Let me make sure I have everything. It looks like I do. Okay, I'll get to the comments right now. And the shop does look a lot better. No leaks. Oh, I do have my temporary studio right here, John. This is up in the loft. I'm definitely going to do a more permanent studio. In fact, Mrs. Chip and I were on video chat this morning right before this stream talking about where the studio is going to be and what it'll look like. So there are plans there's definitely plans in the works for that. We're definitely thinking ahead on that one. And John says he's working on the Kobe. I think it said F22. I've already switched over. And that's actually a pretty cool plane. Even in real life, I've seen the Raptor. I lived under the flight path of Hill Air Force Base for almost 2 years when I lived in Layton, Utah. And I've seen the F-35, I've seen the F-22, and it's actually a place where the Army does maintenance on a lot of different planes, including the Army's A-10. And so I've heard that whine of the engine, if you've ever heard it. It's a beautiful sound. I love the A-10, and I've seen plenty of those fly over my house. I mean, I know they're not armed when they're doing their flights over the houses, but I have to admit, sometimes when I used to think about it, when they were flying over my house, I used to think about their destructive power flying right over my head, and it did make me a little uneasy. But I don't think they're going to be using their cannon anytime soon on my house, so I don't live there anymore. I live far enough away that I don't hear the jets don't fly over my house over here anymore. I'm an hour and 20 minutes north of there now, so it's not even an issue anymore. But I will admit, yesterday I drove down to the Layton area. That's where my lug meeting was, and I heard some F-35s fly over me, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it's like you kind of when you live there, by the way, and you're like outside and you're talking to your neighbor, everyone's so accustomed to the planes flying over that it's not a big deal. You sit there and you have a conversation outside. A jet will fly over, and you just pause the conversation until the plane gets far enough away you can hear them again. And it's really funny. No one cares. Like they don't skip a beat. They know exactly what they're doing. And so yeah, I've done that many times. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out, John. I about the docking station. I'll try to figure that out here in the next week. I'll see if I can do some research online and find out what the proper docking station is. And speaking of Hill Air Force Base, maybe that's just where I need to go, because that's where I bought the computer. And believe it or not, at the exchange, even though it is just a small department store, they actually are really knowledgeable in their electronics department where I bought this. And I'll bet you, if I went there and I told them, hey, I bought this model from you, I'll bet you they can tell me exactly which one I need. And the thing about the Army Exchange, or I guess it's the BX. It's not the Exchange. It's a BX on the Air Force Base. But they have a really good return policy. Like I've seen people return stuff. Like I've been in line and they're in front of me, and I'm thinking they're never going to take this back. And then they step up there and they're like, "Oh, no problem." And they're like, "Dang, so you mean I can buy diapers, let my kids use them, and then claim they were already full of poop before I got there, and they'll return it?" No, I'm just kidding. I've never seen anybody do that. That's just an extreme example. In fact, that's from a Jeff Foxworthy stand-up comedian thing that he said he did about Walmart. He said that they'll return anything, and he tried that once and it worked. Oh, shoot. That's cool. Okay, so these are slightly turned. This is really bad. I don't have the money, so I won't be doing it. But there's a seafood place called Hook and Reel down in the Layton area. Oh my gosh, it is so good, and I'm craving it right now. But I do not have the money. It's like $80, and that's not an exaggeration. For 2 people to eat there, it's like $80. So that's part of the scratch it off list because it ain't gonna happen. All right, let's go back to the comments. I figure you can do your Lego builds in the house than do your stuff out there, rather than Legos builds connect. Yeah, the rumbling engines is awesome. It is. Oh, and you said the F-35 from Kobe just arrived. Awesome. And I need to check out their stuff, John. A friend of mine, Brent, who I've mentioned, he's part of my lug. He brought a aircraft carrier, a miniature one, to our lug meeting yesterday. He's been working on, and I really do like Brent. Brent has Brent's one of those friends that he's a really, really talented builder. And what I like about Brent is Brent has no problems calling me up, video chatting with me, showing me what he's working on, and asking for my advice. I like that because I do the same thing with him. Sometimes I can't quite figure something out, and I call him up, get on video chat, show him what I'm working on, and I'll be like, hey, I'm stuck here. And Brent is a just really talented builder, and he usually has ideas, and he'd be like, oh, hey, have you tried this? And it's like, no, I haven't. Cool. Thanks, Brent. And I give it a try, and it works. So and I do the same thing for him. So it's a win-win. And so when he was working on the aircraft carrier, there was twice that he called me up, and he was like, I'm not quite sure what to do right here. And so we talked it through. So it was good to see it at the meeting we just had, fully finished. Well, I did not mean to do that. And right now, YouTube's playing with my emotions. I like to watch every day at about 2:30 in the morning. The hours update, how many hours people watch my videos, and I've been watching it, and it's been climbing pretty steadily. Thank you, everybody. But this morning, all of a sudden, it dropped 20 hours. So some sort of glitch on their end. Good thing this cup's empty. I just about knocked it over. I love when they do these little ale barrels here. I'll show it to you here in a second. There we go. You like to watch? Of course I do. And that's more than one thing that I can't talk about some of that. Come on now. This is a family-friendly channel. It actually, that's one of my favorite lines from the movie Fletch, is when he's talking to the preacher, the guy who plays Gunnery Sergeant, oh, come on, what's his name, in Full Metal Jacket. When he's talking to him as a preacher in Fletch, he says, have you sinned? And oh my gosh, his response is off the chain. He says, yes, I have. Not that I've taken any Polaroids of it or anything. And of course, back in the day, that was the instant film. That when that movie came out, that was the only way you got film instantly. It wasn't cameras we have on our phones now. But the fact that he says that he hasn't taken any Polaroids of it or anything, oh my gosh, that was too much. So that's when you said like to watch. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. But no, I don't have any Polaroids of it or anything. Not only that, no one would want to see Polaroids of it. Not me. What would be really bad is if I did have Polaroids of it and Mrs. What's her name, Chip, were to find them. That would be really bad. I think I'd be in the doghouse permanently. Okay, so we built this little desk. Let's see where it's going to go. Oh, this thing is slow. Well, guys, we've got about 100 pieces here, and then I'm going to call it quits for the day. And like I said, I think the next live stream is probably going to be Tuesday, yeah. And that should be the same day that I get those sets. So for me, Tuesday is going to be a very exciting day. Unless I get fired from my job, which I shouldn't have said that, because now it's probably going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy right there. Not that I really believe in those, but, well, yeah, I do actually. Self-fulfilling prophecies, I do. Because I used to know a guy who, no matter what happened, he would say something about his body, like, oh, I would hate for this to happen. And then the next thing you know, he's coming down with some illness that matches the symptoms that he said. To be quite honest with you, he was annoying. I wasn't friends with him for very long. It just got to be too much. Well, you know, I am excited about today's build, because today's build, I think it really took us to another level. And I just don't mean the second level. I mean the fact that, you think about it, when I started today, this was not enclosed by any stretch. It was just kind of like the outline of it, and doing this and closing it in and closing more of this in, doing the drawbridge, doing this. I think it really just added a lot of flavor to it. Gonna head back to the comment section. Go by yourself. That means he is down to earth. Right. You like the watch, huh? I can't wait to assemble my shelves when they arrive. Good, John. I hope to get there soon. Shelving's nice for the Legos. I like it. And wow, I think you just saw yourself into the doghouse. Yeah, probably. Nah, glutton for punishment. Go to the end. I hope you just said that you're not really having job issues. No, I'm not. I was joking around. I was making the comment that everything should go well on Tuesday, because I'm going to do another live stream, and then on top of that, I'm going to have those sets arrive. And so I was saying it should be a good day, and then I threw in there unless I get fired. And I shouldn't really say that because, yeah, it could become a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I doubt it. I'm not messing up at work, and she hasn't really. My manager hasn't really. She hasn't had any talks with me like, well, you could do this better, and you should be doing this better. We haven't had those conversations. So, and she is the kind of person that communicates well when it comes to that. You definitely know if you're not doing something right, and we have not had that conversation in quite some time. When I first started, we had that conversation a lot, but I'd been out of accounting for 9 years, and she was expecting that because, well, I was fully 100% honest in the interview that I had not done accounting in a long, long time. So, and I've been there, well, god dang, I just thought about it. I started there on January 11th. So I've been there over 6 months now. God, it's hard to believe it's been that long. But yeah, we have not had that conversation. So, and if we were having that conversation, I really would be worried. And it's my goal that when an employer, first of all, I try to make it my goal the employer doesn't have to have that conversation with me. And then my other goal is if I do have that conversation, I never want to have it with them again. It's true I don't enjoy the work I do, but I certainly am not trying to mess it up so that I get fired. Okay, I'm looking for another piece that I cannot find, and like I said, I was kind of worried about this because I did have to move a couple bags ahead and kind of hijack some pieces. So if it comes to that point and I can't build any further, I'm almost done anyway. I'll just finish it off screen so that the next time I have a live stream, we can start in a good spot. And if you're curious, we are on instruction number 536. And even if you're not interested, we're on instruction number 537. I'm sorry for the delay. It is just, this thing is really just struggling right now. Oh yeah, this is the point where I am missing a piece. I'm going to see if I have it in here. I do not. I think I have it over here. Okay, so yes, I did have it over there because that's from the Avengers Tower. John, I'm not really interested in getting a CPA after all. I just, being out of accounting for 9 years, so many of the rules and regulations have changed that as I was looking at the CPA material, I really don't recognize it anymore. And I almost feel like in order to get a CPA, I feel like I would need to go back to school and maybe get a master's in accounting just to refresh on all the stuff that's changed since I've been there. And I have to admit that I didn't like accounting when I first went through school. I really don't think I'd like it the second time. I would rather do the electrician. If I'm going to have to go to school, I would rather do the electrician stuff. That way I'm learning a trade that I can make a lot more money at. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, see my progress. So I think that's, but I'm having trouble finding an apprenticeship that's close enough by that it makes sense. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying to look. I'm still looking. And in fact, I got a good lead. And I should give credit to that too. The lead was actually from my friend Brent. His wife's family lives in a town close to me, and they know some people, and they talked to an electrician that has his own business, and he said that he might be interested. To give him a call. And I just found this out yesterday, Friday, I'm sorry. So, and I found out like at 10 o'clock at night, a little bit before that, because it was before the live stream I did on Friday. I found out. So I need to get a hold of him on Monday and see if there's something, if he is interested in having an apprentice. And if he is, great. I'll start tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. And it is late in life to be switching careers. I'm just waiting for this thing to switch over. Okay. But I was talking to the guidance counselor at the trade school, and I asked him, I said, be honest with me, please. Is it too late in life, and being 49, to switch careers and do this? And he said no. He said, I am not the oldest student by far. And in fact, as the trades, a lot of people retired from the trades, and there's very few people going in. There's a lot of students in their 40s now. So it's not as uncommon as you think or would think. Of course, YouTube could just be awesome and start paying me. And if it did that, then I wouldn't have to do any of this. That's wishful thinking, though. Because I won't say the channel, but I actually know a guy who, on a personal level, who has a channel, and he has 30-something thousand subscribers. And he says it doesn't pay enough to quit his job. And I'm only at 1,400, so I doubt it'll ever get to that point anytime soon enough. Okay, so this is bags 1 through 9. And so far, I am loving this a lot. I love how it swings open, and you can see the horse stable here. There's an entrance here of some sort. There's going to be an iron gate, you can tell, because the groove's in here. You've got a desk, you've got a kitchen, you've got a play area for a kid. You've got the drawbridge, which is not functioning yet, but I'm sure it will, just knowing Lego and how they design stuff. I do like the jail. I like the secret door on the jail where the guy can escape right here. Just got to find a buddy that's buff enough and has been doing his bench press and his curls. And I like the greenery around it. I like the snow caps. I like the touch with the bird on there. There's a lot of just good things about this particular set so far. And just to think, we're only bags 1 through 9, and I'm looking here, and it looks like it goes all the way to bag 20. So we're not even halfway done with building this. So, and there's this amount of detail. So I can't wait for it to get to the point where there's a lot more detail. Anyways, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you, going through the pain with me of the delay between the instructions flipping over. Anyways, if you guys would, hit the like button and subscribe and turn on all notifications and leave me a comment below. All right, guys, I'm going to cut out of here and get some more stuff done around the house, like I said, in the shop. And I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Have a good day.